Hello everyone, welcome to Little Meatballs Nursery. I'm Sandra. Welcome if you're new here and welcome back if you're returning. This is little Tommy here and he's dressed in his new Posh Peanut little green mermaid gown. That's what I'm calling them, mermaids. I don't know. They're not maids, they're mermen, but you know. And he's got his little dragon and I found his little green pacifier so he matches everything, matchy. And me and Tommy over here, let me tell you a little bit about Tommy. I actually slept with Tommy last night on my chest like I used to with my boys. Late last night, well, it wasn't that late, but when I laid down, I grabbed Tommy and I said, you know what, let me snuggle him because I was feeling a little, nervous about my test that I have tomorrow and which I soon have to prep for. So I figured I would come on here and just, share a little happiness before I'm in doomsday and dooms night all in the bathroom. But we don't need to talk about that. But so I start drinking my prep in like an hour or so. So I was like, okay, let me just hop on and say hello. So I decided to grab Tommy last night and I said, all right, I'm just going to cuddle him for a little bit, and I laid him on my chest and we were cuddling and he had his dragon and everything. I actually had this blanket. This is actually their Muslim blanket, but I was a little chilly. I said, all right, I'll just put it over me. Anyway, so I had him on my chest and I fell asleep that way. And I kept saying before I fell asleep, no, Sandra, put him down. Go put him in the bassinet before you go to sleep. Because the last time I did that with a doll, she ended up on the side of my chair here, So I fell asleep with him anyway. And you know what? When I woke up, he was in the same position as when I fell asleep. So he slept with me all night. It was so great. It was so great to wake up and have him with me like that. So that was cool. Me and Tommy here have a special bond. I think with Tommy, it was really instant. It was an instant bond. It didn't take me long to find him a name, so that's always great because once I start like thinking, okay, what does he look like? What am I gonna name him? And I don't really have a real name for him. I start to drift, and then I'm like, well, he doesn't look like that. Okay, I'll name him. Kind of like what I did with Sam. I wasn't sure because it was a memorial of my brother. I wanted to give him some kind of name for my brother, and my brother's name is John Giovanni. So I wasn't sure what I was going to name him. I didn't want to straight up name him Giovanni, I didn't, want to just go all out like that, but something to remember him by. So that is his middle name. So I named him a few things. Then I kept calling him Sam. And then I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, shit. But I knew I was keeping him because, I did have a couple times. Listen, I feel like a lot of times with certain dolls, I have a doubt for a second. I'm like, well, maybe I could do without this doll. But then you think and you're like, no, I can't do it, And a lot of times I've been impulsive and jump and sell dolls. But I haven't been doing that lately. Anything that I have sold, I totally don't regret doing. I think that the dolls that I have sold more recently are better off with who they are with now. Because when you lose that special bond with your doll, it's just not there anymore. Like it once was. So even though you'll always love them and you'll always have a special place in your heart for them because you've been through so much together, good times and not so good times. And, it's like they're there for you, no matter what. But sometimes you just got to let them go, sometimes you just got to let them go. And even though you do that and they're not with you anymore, they still will always hold a very special place in your heart and in your mind. And you don't forget that. You don't forget the memories that you shared together with your baby. So that being said, little Tommy over here. Oh, Jason's coming in. How nice. You joining the video? Not today's video. I figured I'd just get on here to get my mind, off what I got to do soon. Just to talk for an hour or so, have a little happiness before I got to, drink the drink. So, anyway, me and little Tommy here have a special bond from the start. Um, as I said, I'm a boy mom all the way. I just seem to, yeah, I just seem to not, every girl doll that I get, I mean, I love them. I think they're pretty, they're beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And yes, there have been a couple where I have shared that really like special, close, but I just can't get as close with the girl dolls that I do with the boys. I maybe it's just because I had three real boys. I'm gonna say had. I have to have three real boys. Um, so maybe that's why. What are you stirring over there? Sugar? Oh. Um. So I think because I, have my three boys, and when, it just, I don't know. I guess it just has that more, I don't know. I can't describe it, but I tend to stick with the boys. So that's what I'm doing, and it's working out well. I have my little Tommy here, and I mean, if you go back and look at his box opening, I was amazed but unsure at first, kind of, because when I bought him, again, he wasn't a custom, he was made to sell. And I looked at the picture, I knew what the sculpt was, and I said, yes, I'll take him. I didn't give it a second, now I have lip gloss on my teeth. So that's why I don't like the lip gloss. Like today I don't have my lipstick on. That's why I don't like the gloss, because it gets it's like it doesn't stay where it's supposed to. That's why I usually use my Color Stay lips, because even though it gets dry feeling, like a matte finish, I know it stays. I know it stays where it's supposed to stay. Anyway, so when he got here, like I said, and if you look back at the box opening, I was a little bit unsure at first. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's cute, but he's like, I don't know. Wasn't as I was expecting, I'll say. Because I didn't really study his picture. I just knew the sculpt and I said yes. So, but after that, like the day after, or even that night, and I changed him and I held him, but I think it was more the next day that I was holding him, changing him. I was like, he is so cute, he had a very different look than what I'm used to for my dolls. So that's why it took me a minute also. But I found a name for him pretty quick, I would say. And it stuck, like I didn't like go back and forth and say, no, he's not a Tommy, this and that. I stuck with the name. And then actually after I thought of that, that's what made me think of Dominic, because I had named him Dominic, but then I changed it again. And I was like, no, and then it was Atlas Love, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck was I thinking with that name? Like, no. Or Love Atlas, I don't know what the fuck. I was trying to give him a name like of love because of my brother, that kind of thing. But now that I think about it, I'm like, what a stupid fucking name. Like, Sandra, what the fuck? What the fuck are you thinking with that? Love Atlas? I mean, no. It's surely different, but no. So, that's when I named him Dominic. Then I got Tommy. I wasn't sure about that name for Dominic. I was going to change it. I probably did change it. I think at the time I was just calling him Sam at the time. I don't even remember what I attempted to change it to. I don't even remember. Okay. So obviously, wasn't the right name for him. So then when I got Tommy and I found his name, I'm like, yes, his name is Tommy. So Tom the turkey, right? Because that Thanksgiving's coming up. So he's my turkey. So I got to dress him up like a turkey. So then I said, yes, I'm going to keep Dominic for Sam, because then it's Dominic the donkey for Christmas. So I have my turkey, my Tom the turkey, and then my Dominic the donkey. And I know Christina can't wait to sing to him. I can't wait to hear it, Christina. So you better start practicing now, because I'm going to want to hear that come around November time, December. You got to sing to him. You promised. So, yeah, so it came natural, my bond with him. And I think when you bond with your baby and it's just the two of you, you just feel connected, and you feel the real you, that's like your bond with your baby. And I think once you add too many babies to your collection, then it's possible that your bond will break with the one you love. And then that's when sometimes the bond is lost and you just have to let it go. Other times you can possibly rebond with your baby, but that's not always possible, even though you wish that you could. Sometimes you just can't. So that's why I like to keep my collection and my babies in my nursery to a minimum, because like I said, the more babies you add to the mix, the less of a bond you possibly have with the best baby that you have. And then, thank you, Danny, for giving me my ring back. And then it completely ruins what you had. And sometimes it's too late, like I said, and other times it's not, but not right now. What do you want to show, honey? I'm kind of in the middle of something. Yes, Danny is going to show you this awesome thing he made. Okay, just give me a few minutes, okay? Thank you, because I don't want to lose track of what I was saying. But anyway, my point being that sometimes less is more, and sometimes you can't always get back what you once loved. So cherish what you have, love what you have, and don't make a mistake, because otherwise you may never see that baby again. Even though you love that baby, you may never get it back. So just be careful when you're selling. There's been a few babies that I have had that I do miss, and I think everybody does that. I think everybody in this collecting world will get babies and then sell them, whether it's because you lost a bond with the baby, or maybe it might be a baby that you still love and think is gorgeous, whatever, what have you, and you sell it because you need the money, not because you didn't like it, or, maybe somebody said, oh, that baby's ugly, that baby can go, that baby can get out of there. No, that, maybe you just needed the cash, that's the reality. That's the reality of this hobby, is sometimes, even if you do have a bond, you need other things, and somebody's got to go. And that's how it goes. But Danny, hold on, please. What is it? All right, let him just show you something, because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to continue on, because I know, honey, but you're right here. I know you want to show people, so go ahead. Okay, Danny made this awesome Happy Meal. You got to raise it up. Happy Meal box. He made this. Wait, you printed this out, or what'd you do? So he printed out. Go ahead, explain it to them. Keep it right here and explain it.
I printed different pictures.
You printed different pictures and cut them out, and then turn it around so they understand what it is. They can't see, honey. You got to come closer. And okay, so he made his own Happy Meal box, and then he glued all these little different stickers on it, and whatever. They're little paper stickers, whatever. I don't want to get ink on me. Very good. It's beautiful.
You can't really get ink on yourself.
Why? It's printer ink.
Yeah, but when it prints, the ink dries instantly.
Oh, okay.
So look, if I wipe my hand.
I know, honey, but I don't want mommy to get any chance of getting anything on the dolls. And you have stamps all over you. You need to go get in the bath. Tell Dad it's time, okay? Yeah. Because then I have to go in there shortly. So tell him to please give you either bubble bath or just do a shower. Anyway, okay, so yeah, so my bond, I think that's why I need to keep my circle to a minimum, and that way I don't lose that bond with any of my really, really special ones that are here. Like I said, I have I have had special babies that are not here anymore, but I'll always remember them. I loved them. I loved the sculpt, the way they were painted were perfect. But at the time, like I said, either you need the cash or whatever. But it's always nice to know who your babies are going to. And a couple of my babies are with people that I love, that I think are taking very well care of them. And there are a couple of babies that, maybe didn't go to such a great place, but I have to just remember, why I did it, because I had other things to take care of. So that is, my bonding talk. That being said, I did find a baby that a kit that I'm going to get to look like Ethan. So I did find one. No, I did find two. I found two. I found an awake one and an asleep one. But oh, sorry. There it goes with my throat again. But I wanted to have all three of my boys asleep as newborns, portraits of them when they were like in the hospital, okay? Or just coming home. That's what I wanted to do for the three of them, because that's how I started my collection for my boys with Jack, and now I have Daniel like that. So now I need Ethan as a baby in the hospital asleep. So I found one that looks really close, and I actually found the kit painted on the artist's website to see how that artist would paint that kit. So I get a better idea of how it would look, and he looks really close. I'm not going to mention a kit because I want it to be a surprise. I don't know. I'm maybe hoping, because I am not in a cell, guys. I'm not in a cell. I'm keeping all four boys that I have. There's no way. So I got to be patient. Sandra, you got to be patient. So if I possibly could squeeze like just the amount of the kit out next month, I'm hoping to do that. So this way, at least the artist has the kit, and then she's able to start on it in September for me. So, or she can work on it through August, and then, I finish paying in September, however that's going to work. But August is just not a month to fully buy out a doll. Can't do it. So maybe I'm hoping to at least secure the kit and send it. So that'll be my holiday baby though, because, then I have to start the Christmas shopping. So, if that's how it's going to play out, then I could start my, little bit of Christmas shopping in September, pay off my holiday baby, and then full on October, November, December is all Christmas money, So we'll see how that goes, And I think this year, I know I say this every year because I see sales and I grab things, but I think the way I want to do Christmas this year is each kid each month. So not buy everything for everybody in October. So I think I'm going to do like, Jack in October, and then Danny in November, and Ethan in December, because Ethan changes his mind the most. So I feel like I think it's better to wait for him for December so that I don't have to return a bunch of shit, because he always changes his mind with what he wants. Like, he'll come to me one week and be like, Mom, can you get this for me? Yeah, I want this for my birthday. He does this to me every year. And then he'll come back the week after and say, no, I really don't want that. Can I get this instead? Or can I get this? So I think I'm better off waiting December for Ethan. But I think it'll work better that way, because then I know the amount I'm spending on everybody, right? Because if I'm buying things for all three of them every single, October, November, December, then I don't really know how much. I just go by the gift amount, like okay, 5 gifts here, 5 gifts here. But if I do just one kid a month and it's just focused on the one child, then there's a set amount of money I'm spending. So I think that's how I'm going to do it this year. Instead of having the same amount of gifts for everybody, like they each get, let's say, 15 gifts. I'm not doing that. Like, I usually even it out like that. I think it's better to do a money amount, and then whatever gifts they want that add up to that amount, that's what they get. Because the older kids now, the teenagers, they want more expensive things. And so it doesn't even out. It's not fair. It doesn't even out money wise, if I do it that way, like the same amount of gifts. It just doesn't. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, because then I could put a cap on it. I could say, okay, $500, that I'm gonna buy $500 worth of gifts for Jack in October, and then 500 for Danny in November, and then, you know what I'm saying? So like whatever is in that amount, that's what they get. And it doesn't have to be an equal amount of gifts. It's just an equal amount of value, is what I'm trying to say. But so I might try that this year. I also I really wanted to do like, I'm not saying I'm spending 500 a piece. What I'm saying is I was just giving you an example. But it'll probably turn out to be around that anyway. But anyway, so, I wanted to do like I wanted to buy Moses baskets for each kid and put that under the tree. And then I told them whatever could fit in the Moses basket is what I will buy. Like, I'm not buying any big things. And I still kind of stand by that. We don't have the room. We don't have the space. Unless Danny gets rid of his tent, I'm not getting anything big. I can't do it. There's no room. So it's going to have to be smaller things, little electronic things or games or little devices, little, I don't know, just littler things, Um, and I think, what I was looking at? I think I might, like, I'm not into journaling. I'm not into writing, reading. I don't do any of that. Okay. And everybody, you could say what the hell you want. Oh, she doesn't read out that. I don't like to read. Sorry. I'll read a magazine is about it, a catalog, online looking. I'll do that. But I don't like to read a book. I'll read like toddler books to Danny, or whatever, grade he gets to read those books. But I'm not going to, read like just a novel. Like, I'm not this type of person. So I thought, because I would like something to keep my mind busy, right? And while I'm doing my workbook, I should also have something fun. So I came across some strawberry shortcake puffy stickers. And they're real cheap, and you get a bunch of them. And I'm thinking, you know what? Because I always thought, oh, wouldn't it be cute to get the kids stickers, and they start a sticker book and this and that. I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I'll start a sticker book. I used to have one when I was little. Okay, guys, come on. Danny, hold on one second. Okay, guys. So when I was little, I loved stickers. Okay, any chance that I got to get stickers, I was getting them. When the kids at the school, the Scholastic Book Club, whatever, and you get that little paper that has all the things, the kids still get that. Okay. I used to always get stickers or sticker books or bookmarks or just stuff that was like glittery and whatever. And, the glitter pens that have the water and the glitter in them that go around and have the little puffy thing at the top. Anything that was pretty is what I went for. I didn't go for no book. I went for pretty stuff. Okay. So, hey, all the pretty girls. I love that song, actually. All the pretty girls walk like this. My husband plays it. It's so funny because he actually listens to it and he'll sing to it, and then he'll do the little dance. Anyway, so I used to go for anything that was pretty and sparkly, and so I'm thinking, because I had a sticker book back then. I used to buy all those puffy stickers and everything, and they're all coming back, like those puffy ones and the glittery things so I think I'm gonna start collecting stickers and start with the strawberry shortcake, and then they have tons of different stickers on Amazon. So I think that would be really cool to do. And, they have like emoji stickers as well. So maybe like the day that I'm doing something in my sticker book, I could put like how I'm feeling that day with the emoji. I mean, it's just something different and something fun to do. I think the kids would have fun with me as well. I think we could kind of all interact with a sticker book, and then they could add their own things, as we, it's something creative to do. Something, that a family could do together. And, and then soon enough they'll be going back to school. So, can't wait for that. Can't wait for back to school. Back to school. Ethan has his headphones. He's over here, but he's got his headphones. Anyway, it's not really that close yet. But I am, I mean, listen, It really hasn't been bad though this summer. I think last summer was a lot worse. I think last summer was like, I think they were all at the age where everybody was. Of course, there's, a few, whatever, because they're kids. They're gonna, bicker back and forth, and you have my charger. No, that's mine. No, where's mine? That type of thing, and they kind of get on each other's nerves because it's not a big place, and so Danny always wants to spend time with his older brothers, and they're like, no, they're not having it. They just want to do their own thing. And I tried doing a schedule. Poof. I mean, the schedule was like, I think they did it. It worked for maybe no, not even 2 weeks, maybe a week. A week they followed it, and then I kind of had to keeping up with it and say, okay, look at the schedule, and then eventually it just went to they didn't care about the schedule because okay, it wasn't the chores because they were doing their chores anyway. It was because I put times in there where each of them would play with Danny for an hour throughout the day. I think I put in like 1 hour blocks twice a day for each kid. And I don't think that's a lot. 2 hours out of your day, to, not even together, 1 hour to play with your little brother, just do something together, just to make him feel, like, I mean, it's like, I understand the age gap, because that's how I was too with my sister. But me and my sister had a 10-year age gap. That's kind of like Jack and Danny. And we played together all the time, but it was because I was also interested in what she was interested in at the time, which was Barbie dolls. I loved Barbie dolls and baby dolls. I never stopped loving them. So when she was, 3 and I was 13, we would play Barbie dolls all the time, And then she used to get, I remember she used to get upset and cry when, like, I would go out with my friends because I still was a teenager. I wanted to go out, but I did love playing with her when I was home. So, and then as I got older, 14 and 15, and she was 4 and 5, and she wanted to keep playing Barbies. I mean, I kept playing when I was home, but then, my boyfriend would come by, and he would want to pick me up because I always went out with older guys. They always had a car. So, they would come pick me up and beep the horn. And I remember I would get up, because we would sit on the floor and play in her bedroom. And I was like, okay, I gotta go now. I'll see you later. And I remember her face. She was so sad holding the Barbie doll, because I'll tell you this, my sister, Lisa, that is closer in age to me, we're 4 years apart. We didn't really do as much as I did with my youngest sister. Because Lisa was into books. She didn't like dolls. Anytime my mother gave her a doll, she didn't want it. She basically would pass it off to me because she knew I loved the dolls. She didn't want anything to do with them. She would play house with us when we were little, stuff like that. Hopscotch. We like to do stuff like that. But jacks. Oh my god, I used to love to play jacks. But she didn't play the doll stuff. She would rather pick up a book and sit there. My sister Lisa literally was a bookworm. She would sit on the couch even when the TV was on and we were watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever we were watching, Today's Special. She told me about that. I was like, oh my god. Hey Dude was another one we used to like to watch. It was like a ranch, with they tell the storyline, whatever. And oh my god, Today's Special. Does anybody remember that show? From the 80s. It was like there was like a mannequin guy that would come to life at night and a big dog or something. And and Today's Special. Do you remember that show?
No.
Lisa, yes, Lisa brought it up to me because we used to watch it as kids. And I totally forgot about that show. Like, I never ever in my mind would have ever thought of that again unless she brought it up. And when I seen it, I was like, oh my god. Another one was, oh my god, Ethan, what was that show as a kid? What was that show as a kid that I watched? Remember I showed you guys with the bird? They're humans, but one's dressed as a bird.
The zoo one?
Yeah, Zoobly Zoo. Zoobly Zoo. Oh my god. We used to love that show. Zoobly Zoo. Zoobly Zoo. Magic and wonder is waiting for you. Just open your eyes. It was so fun. If you guys remember that show, please let me know in the comments below. I know somebody out there has watched that show. It was 80s, I think, late 80s, early 90s. Oh my god. Oh my god, we used to watch that show. That's so funny when she sent that to me. I was like, oh my god. And we used to laugh because I remember, like, we used to laugh because the bird, it was a parrot. Okay, it was a parrot bird, a green, like this color parrot. And it was a woman, you could tell, because, well, she talked, it was a woman. And we used to laugh because we used to say she looked like our mother. She looked like my mother. So when we were kids, we used to laugh and we would point. We'd be like, "Mom, look, you're on TV. Mom, look, you're on TV." And she would say, "Will you stop it? Will you stop it?" Because it was a bird. And my mom had a tiny face. My mom had a tiny little face, and she had big hair all the time, long big hair with a tiny little face. She was so pretty though, my mom. I used to love, like I said, I used to love watching her do her makeup, her mascara. She would sit up on the counter in the bathroom and look close in the mirror and do her mascara. And I remember I would just stand there in the bathroom or in the hallway and just watch her put on her makeup. And she would, eventually she would say, "What are you doing, Sandy? You want to come in here?" And then she would put a little blush on me or a little lip gloss. And so I remember that when I was real little. But anyway, so I know my mom is with me, and I know she'll be with me tomorrow for this test. I'm really nervous, and but I have to go through with it because it's the only way. It's the only way to find out, if anything is going on more seriously. It's the only test I could do. I mean, there is no other. I just have to do it. And there's so many components, I feel. And some people may think that this is just like, what the fuck is wrong with her? But, everybody has their own things going on. Everybody has their own illnesses, their own struggles. And this is me, this is mine. Just being real with you guys. There's so many components to why I'm nervous, why I'm afraid, why I mean, before this I was really shaking. I was shaking like a leaf. I took my medicine. I took my Zofran because they tell you to take that a couple hours before you start drinking the liquid. I have to find a straw because the lady suggested to use a straw to get the liquid down because it kind of bypasses your taste buds. But Jason's saying no, the straw is worse because you're not gonna, I don't know what he said, something about air maybe, I don't know. But they said to get Gas X, but I don't have it, so I took the Zofran, and hopefully that'll be enough. I'll be okay with that. And I'm sorry, my husband's playing music now in the bathroom while he's giving Danny a shower. He doesn't have, nobody has, we just stay in there with him to help him if he needs help with the soap pump or something like that. But he washes himself now and everything. We still wash his hair because he does have a lot of hair, and I haven't really taught him how to wash it yet. I mean, I'm sure he could figure it out, but we still do that for him. I don't think that's too weird at 8 years old, washing his hair. I think, but I got to start, teaching him how to do it. But, we enjoyed still doing those little things for him. He's our last baby, so, he's, and I didn't forget about it. I got to tell you, Anyway, so there's a lot of different things. Why? Hold on one sec. Okay, guys. So, there's just a lot of components to oh, the sun's coming out now. Good. It was like gloomy and rainy all day. So there's just a lot of components to this test, or not to the test itself. Well, there is, but I mean more like I'm all over the place. Okay, I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm worried, and I don't want to have a panic attack. While I'm drinking this liquid. But my thought process for this is that I have to I just have to do it, so I'm like trying to force those thoughts out, and trying to follow what I've learned so far with my workbook. But it's still, it's difficult for me because there's so many things that I feel could go wrong. And then I think of that. I think of the Okay, so for me, okay, and if you don't want to hear this, whatever medical stuff, you can just fast forward. I understand. And it's not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody wants to hear about my medical struggles or whatever, but um not really it is. It's struggle for okay, so the first step is I'm getting very nervous now because I know the time is ticking. And okay, so I have to get through a giant jug of liquid. I have to I haven't eaten since the last solid food I ate was at 8 o'clock this morning. And then I've had coffee with no milk, and that's all I've had today. And I have a bottle of 7 Up and one of those pour container things of chicken broth. So, I don't know if I'm gonna drink those. I don't know what's gonna happen. All I know is I don't want anything, I shouldn't drink any of that, Jason said, until after I take the first dose of this medicine. So the way, in case I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that have done this test, but there may be some that haven't and don't know how it works. So I'm just going to explain it quickly. So it's like it's like a giant, the best way I could describe it. Like in your car, you keep that gallon jug or whatever of antifreeze or something, whatever it is for the car. That's what I pictured when I seen that container. It has like the handle on the side and the cap, and then it's a big, tall bottle. Um, so I have to drink half of that within a certain amount of time. So you have to drink, I think they said it's 10 ounces or something like that, within a 10-minute time frame. So you have to drink 10, I don't know if it's exactly 10 ounces. I'm just saying it's around that. Okay. So you have to drink 10 ounces within 10 minutes. Then you have to drink another 10 ounces within another 10 minutes, like close by. I mean, the time within, I read the bottle earlier, but the time between you take 10 ounces and then another 10 ounces is really short, like maybe 20 minutes. Like you have to drink the half of the gallon jug within like a certain time frame, like I think an hour, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it's like an hour that you have to drink half of it, but they're telling you to do 10 ounces you have to drink within 10 minutes. Then you take like a 20-minute break. Then you got to drink another 10 ounces within that 10-minute time frame. So I'm getting a little nervous about that because it's been a long time since I've chugged anything. Okay, let's put it that way. I got to reach in to my inner teenage years and pull that out for this, to get this done, because you got to really chug it within the 10 minutes. And it tastes nasty. I've never had it before. Well, before when I did I was going to do the test, but I couldn't get it all down because it was really nasty. This, I believe, has a different packet on it than the last one did. So I'm hoping this tastes a little better. But it's still nasty. Okay, it's still nasty. And so, I don't know how I'm gonna get it all down. I think, I have to, like I said, remember, think tequila. Think tequila, think tequila. You're not gonna get the same effect as if you drink tequila. But, that I just have to know that, look, this is what I gotta do. I gotta do it. I gotta make it happen. Now, I hope that this time I don't throw it up. I hope that I'm able to keep it down and, hi, Christina, by the way. I don't know. She just said something to me. And like, well, I'm confused a little bit, but she was laughing. So I don't know. I'll read it when I'm done, Christina. I didn't tell her I was doing a video. I didn't even know I was going to do a video, honestly, but I figured, let me just get on here and just talk a little bit so that my mind is not, Anyway, so after you drink that, okay, so after you drink all those 10 minutes, then you're down to half the bottle. Okay, so that's it for tonight, right? At least that's all the drinking of laxatives you got to do for the night. Then, listen, I told my husband, put a table in there for me, put a little table and a chair in there, and I'm gonna sit right next to the toilet bowl because there's no way I'm gonna be able to run every time you gotta go. It's like, it's not like a regular, um laxative that you would take if you're constipated. This is a serious laxative. So you got to do that. Okay, so I'm basically going to be living in the bathroom tonight. So Christina, I'll be messaging you. No, Christina doesn't stay up that late, so she's got to work in the morning. But I'll be up because I have to be. I doubt I'm going to sleep at all tonight. So then after that's all done and said and done with, and you feel like, okay, you can rest. Then I got to drink the other half tomorrow around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So I got to drink the other half. So I got to do it all over again. And they said that sometimes you still have to go even up till your appointment. I just hope it just gets, I hope it just all comes out and that's it. And then that's it. So, and then, the other part of that, okay. So my other struggle is, of course, my regular, trying to, go out of the house, and then those worries again, and then the bus ride, all these fears again. It's an ongoing process, guys. It is an ongoing, it's always work in progress. It is always work in progress. There is no, going back. There's no, it's only moving forward. Okay. So I do the best that I could do, and that has to be enough. And it is enough. So baby steps, baby steps. So, okay, then the other part is when I'm there and I'm on the table before they wheel me in, and my thought process then is, oh my God, what's about to happen, and what are they going to find? So that also is, I struggled back and forth because I'm like, okay, this could go either way. Well, first of all, there's always a risk of things happening with the colonoscopy itself, okay? But it's rare. So I'm not really focused on that. I'm more focused on what they're going to find or what they're not going to find. You see what I mean? So like, it's if, okay, they come back, they do the test and they're like, okay, well, we don't see anything. And then it's like, okay, well then why the fuck am I in so much pain? Why the fuck am I having these, severe digestive issues and, with my bottom and my rear and everything else, if nothing's wrong? So then it makes you think, okay, now where do I go from here? That feeling of, you don't know what's going on. Nobody's giving you an answer. But then there is the other side of that they will find something. And how am I going to deal with that? So it's just a lot of what ifs. It's a lot of feeling of just nervousness and panic and fear and not of the unknown. Into the unknown. Right, Ethan? It's into the unknown. It's into the unknown. And you know what? But sometimes you just have to do it. And, and it'll work itself out. It'll, like Jason told me, it will deal with whatever it is. It could just be hemorrhoids. It could be a polyp. It could be, a little cyst that's nothing. It could be, he was telling me earlier, I think, what did he say? Something else, but it could be something really fixable. I mean, it's still painful, but it's not like cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I think, that's another fear, but it's like, because I have a history, the family history of cancer. So it's like, you just don't know. And you fear knowing, you fear not knowing. It's like, you can't win, it's like my husband said, it's a, what did he say? It's a, not a lose situation. He said something else. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, I think he said. I don't know, something like that. But it's like, you just don't know, and we'll know tomorrow, because I asked, the hospital called me to make sure everything was set up and I knew what I was doing. And I said, yes, 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 all that stuff. They want to know your allergies. They want to kind of do like a pre-check-in, because the less work they have once you're there, they do the test, and you're out of there. So I think the worst part is like when you're on the table, like I said, right before they give you the anesthesia, because my heart was racing so bad when they did the endoscopy. I was like, please, I was like reaching out for a nurse. I was like reaching my arm. I was like, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. And boom, I was out. They were probably like, put this bitch out. We don't want to hear her anymore.
Wow.
So they put me out real quick. And then before you knew it, you were awake again. It was like you were out for a second. That's how it always is with testing, surgery, all that. So, so I know that like that's gonna be again. I'm not gonna even know what the fuck is happening. I mean, I know what they're gonna do, but I won't know. I won't know what's happening. So I think the worst part of it is gonna be tonight. It's gonna be all that. I just hope that I can get it down. That's the thing. That's the main thing. We gotta get it down, Sandra. Gotta get it down. I think the more I think about it and talk about it is worse, right? I don't know. I don't know if it's better or worse. I don't know. Oh, but I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to any part of it. Except them telling me, I guess, after the test, what's the deal, yo? I'm gonna say, hey doc, what's the deal? I don't even mind that I can't eat anything really, because I go all day anyway with just coffee, and I usually don't eat till dinner time. So like I'll after this I'll see if I feel like having some chicken broth, and some 7-Up. So I'll have my chicken broth soup. I'll even put it in a bowl so it feels more like dinner, and then I'll have my little 7-Up. But honestly, after having that a disgusting lemon laxative, I don't even know if I'm going to want to even look at 7-Up. I got to see. I don't know.
I mean, if you don't,
yeah, I know. Your eyes just lit up. Yeah, if you want 7, I'll give you all a little bit for dinner. But it's rough. It's a rough one. It's a rough one, guys. But I will make sure that of course, I will be back. Probably not tomorrow, because by the time we get home, it's going to be like 5 o'clock, and then I don't think I'm going to want to do a video. Oh, we're not leaving till 1. So, it's just it's an hour long maybe test by the time, but then we got to wait for the bus to come back and all that. So, the bus will pick us up there though, but, I don't think I'm going to feel like, I don't know. I'll see how I feel. If I want to come on here, Christina's writing me, so she's writing me in big letters. I better read her messages. Something I think is going on. I don't know, but I'll read your messages shortly, Christina. So yeah, I'll be back after the test at some point, whether it's tomorrow night or the morning after, to let you guys know how it went. And I asked the doctor, I said, will they tell me then and there like what they found? And she said, oh yes, the doctor will come in and tell you everything that he's seen. So that's a relief, because sometimes when you have tests like that, you got to wait until the results are read and then sent back to your doctor. And then the doctor will call you in and then tell you the results, or call you, or do my chart if it's nothing serious or what have you. So I didn't want none of that. I was like, is the doctor? And she's like, oh yes, he'll come in and tell you. So that's a plus. At least I will know tomorrow. I will know right after the test what is the deal. So that's good. So okay. All right, so Tommy, look at little Tommy. He is the Marnie kit from Bountiful Baby, if anybody is interested. Actually, Anna has a Marnie cuddle baby available right now, so why don't you go check it out on her Instagram or Facebook. She has one for sale. She also has another one. I think it's James Bountiful Baby, but she does have Marnie. So if you think he's cute and you want to go get yourself one, she has one available. I think it's still available. should go check. Little baby. I love these pacifiers. I don't know what brand this is. Does anybody know what brand this is? I can't read what it is. I have no clue. Does anybody know what brand this is? I love these pacifiers. Okay, so and he matches so perfect. Look at them. Oh, before we go, before we go. So I washed both these outfits yesterday. Okay, in the washing machine. This one I put this in the dryer. I put this one in the dryer. I hung this one to dry. You can see it's on the hanger. This one didn't shrink, but I feel, in my opinion, that it's not as soft now as it was when it arrived. It kind of got more of and there's pulls on it already, little pulls. There's actually a hole here that I noticed, and I noticed that before I even washed it, but I was like, whatever, I could fix it, So I don't know. I think the other brand, the Upton, is better than the Copper Pearl, in my opinion, for the bamboo. And I like the Copper Pearl the best, I would say, because it has more weight to it, but that's not bamboo anyway. It's like polyester rayon spandex, but it's still soft. But I would say for bamboo gowns, the Upton ones are the way to go. They held up in the wash. They didn't pull, nothing. They were really nice. Didn't shrink, anything. So there's his little bananas and pajamas outfit. And I hung it to dry so it didn't shrink at all. And because it's stretchy, I'm wondering if I could like stretch it out for a while. Maybe put something like heavy on the ends and then stretch the leg. I don't know. But then Ethan was saying, well, you could always give it to little Johnny. So maybe I will give it to little Johnny, because to be honest with you, I put the 0 to 3 month size in my cart. So hoping to get that one. I don't know. It might make the cut. I don't know. A lot of things don't make the cut from the Amazon cart once it comes down to buying things. So we'll have to see about that. But all right, I'm going to go. Let me go because I'm going to have to start my thing soon, very shortly, about a half hour. It's 5 o'clock. Yeah, so in about a half hour, I got to start getting things set up. And oh my God, guys, wish me luck, please. Oh, I'm really not looking forward to drinking that. But it's got to be done. I already feel nauseous. I probably should take another Zofran. But there is little Tommy. My baby, my baby. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I will see you all soon. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. So, I hope you all have a fabulous evening. And, wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck. But it was nice to come on here for the hour just to talk it out. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me, and I will see you next time with some information, some info about what it is that's going on with me and my butt and my butthole. My butthole or my bunghole. What do I say, Ethan? Butthole or bunghole? Does it matter?
What?
Goodbye, guys. Love you all. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you next time on Little Meatballs Nursery. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.